Hello, my name is John Hardy, and the primary focus of my project was investigating the encroachment of saltwater into freshwater ecosystems. I've been in Florida all of my life, and my mother was a zoologist, so I am well ingrained in the ecosystem surrounding me. And ever since Hurricane Ian, I have seen a plethora of different changes in my surroundings, and I believe that climate change is ultimately to blame. Where better to start than the source of the saltwater encroachment, the Gulf of Mexico, more specifically, Sanibel Causeway. There are very few places that were reshapen more than the Sanibel Causeway. It was in fact mostly destroyed. So I had to jump in to investigate.
He was a serial killer who bragged about killing people, and he professed and confessed to be a demon.
While the results were quite inconclusive, mostly because I couldn't see anything because all of the water was mangrove tea, the evidence in the pictures of the Sanibel Causeway after Hurricane Ian is evidence enough that it was greatly reshapen. The next place I was set to investigate is where the salt water naturally meets the fresh water. This was the Estero Bay Salt Flats. While they had covered up most of the damage to the Sanibel Causeway because it's a very popular area, because the Estero Bay Salt Flats Preserve is a preserve, it wasn't touched. Here we are at the Estero Bay Salt Flats. This is the original site of the transition from salt to freshwater. And as you can see, behind me is nothing but miles and miles of mangroves. I think there's a couple key differences that I've noticed here, because I used to come to this place all the time, but it's been a few years since I've been here, and there's definitely some noticeable changes. I think the one that stood out the most to me is the massive new amount of mangroves. You see all the taller ones in the background, but you see the shorter generation right in front of it. This was not here 4 or 5 years ago. And I suspect that Hurricane Ian reshaping the land has caused water to come deeper and deeper into the salt flats. And it's also important to know that there is water here. We're currently in the dry season. It's November 6th right now, I think. And typically there shouldn't be water here, but now there is. So that is a definite change. So now that we've seen both the places where saltwater is supposed to be, let's go somewhere where it's not supposed to be and see any of the differences. Here we are at ground zero of the encroachment of saltwater into freshwater. Here we are on the Estero River. Hurricane Ian has drastically changed it. The amount of salt water coming up from the ocean is not what it used to be. This is a freshwater spring that feeds directly into the Estero River. This is the life force of the river. This is what makes the primary source of fresh water. I've been around the Estero River almost every day, so I'm very aware of when things change. And there's one massive change that I noticed, that there's a lot of saltwater creatures that weren't here before Hurricane Ian. Now, it is important to note the different sea animals such as manatee, crocodiles, and bull sharks that have been known to be in the river forever, but they aren't explicitly saltwater. Certain fish that I have spotted are in fact saltwater.
Oh, you don't see it? He moves! Right there!
Connected to the whole point of the video, climate change. Due to Earth's rapidly changing climate, the El Nino effect on the Gulf of Mexico has drastically increased, meaning that there will be a lot more severe weather events a lot more often and a lot more powerful. And many scientists say that Hurricane Ian is just the tip of the iceberg, and more will be to follow soon.
The damage that one powerful storm was able to deal out was enough for years of continuous damage and noticeable change in the ecosystem. So imagine what years and years of continuous storms pummeling the coast will do to the ecosystem. The saltwater fish species, such as the sheepshead, gray snapper, and pompano, are way outside of their normal established range because of Hurricane Ian, and are now directly outcompeting fish in their own habitat, such as bluegill and Florida bass, causing direct harm to the natural population.
What can be done about this? Unfortunately, very little. This is a broad-scale issue and can't be stopped by local means. What we can do is take some of the other strains that Mother Nature has on it off of it, such as red tide, overdevelopment, and pollution. We can also help by being environmentally conscious of our decisions and voting with Mother Nature's best interest in mind. With all that being said, thank you all for watching.